Okay, so Vivo's X series right now is kind of confusing. And it's all thanks to this little guy over here, the new X300 FE, which is priced above 70,000 rupees. And basically what that means is that this sits right next to Vivo's actual flagship, the X300, which starts at 76,000 rupees. And then to make things even more confusing, there's the X200T, which comes in at 60,000 rupees and actually gives you a more versatile camera setup than the X300 FE. So now you're stuck in this weird spot because in theory the X300 FE does give you a faster processor and arguably a more premium design than the X200T. But is that really enough to justify the price jump? And more importantly, does it make sense to just spend a little extra and go straight for the Vivo X300 instead? Well, that's exactly what we're trying to find out in this video, so make sure to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Now, both X300 FE and the X300 sit in that compact zone. Both around 6.3 inches, and you feel it immediately. They're easier to grip, easier to use one-handed, and just feel more solid overall. The X200T goes the other way. Bigger display, over 200 grams, and you notice that weight. It's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely not a one-hand phone. All three are built really well though: glass backs, metal frames, IP68 and IP69 ratings. But in terms of in-hand feel, the X300 FE stands out the most. Its matte velvety back has a softer touch compared to the other two phones and just feels a bit more premium overall. That said, I do like what Vivo's done with the X300 FE. That new horizontal camera bar isn't just for looks, it actually helps with grip. Your finger naturally rests there and the phone feels more balanced in hand compared to typical top-heavy designs. Okay, now let's come over to the displays, and specs-wise both the X300 and X300 FE are nearly identical. You're getting LTPO AMOLED panels, 1.5K resolution, HDR10+, and 120Hz refresh rate. However, the X300 is the brightest here at around 2000 nits. The X200T changes things with a bigger 6.67-inch display, so if you watch a lot of content or play games, this will feel more immersive. But there is one key difference. The X200T uses an LTPS AMOLED panel instead of LTPO, so it's slightly less efficient. Apart from that, you get in-display fingerprint sensors on all three, and these are ultrasonic, so they're fast and reliable. All three also get stereo speakers, and audio is pretty solid across the board, but I felt that the X200T offered slightly better bass. Okay, now let's come over to cameras, the one thing that Vivo phones are generally known for. The X300 FE keeps things simple: 50 megapixel main, 50 megapixel telephoto, and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. The X200T goes all 50 megapixel across the board, so it's more flexible, especially for ultra-wide shots. But the X300 is on another level: 200 megapixel main sensor, 50 megapixel periscope, and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide. All three phones come with Zeiss tuning, so colors are mostly consistent. In daylight, all three perform well, but the X300 is the sharpest, especially when you zoom in. Ultra-wide is where things change. The X300 FE's 8 megapixel sensor falls behind, while the X200T and X300 with 50 megapixel ultra-wides look much sharper. In low light, the X300 leads with better highlights and cleaner shadows. The X200T is close, but the X300 FE trails slightly. Zoom is similar at lower levels, but the X300 pulls ahead at higher zoom thanks to its periscope lens. Portraits are also best on the X300 with more natural skin tones and cleaner edges. For video, the X300 and X300 FE do 4K 120 FPS, while the X200T tops out at 4K 60 FPS. As for selfies, the X300 and X300 FE gets sharper selfies thanks to 50 megapixel cameras versus 32 megapixel on the X200T. Now performance. The X300 FE comes with Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, which is very powerful. The X200T runs a Dimensity 9400 Plus, also flagship level, and the X300 uses the Dimensity 9500, and this is actually the most powerful of the three. Now if you look at benchmarks, things become very clear. The X300 scores around 3.3 million on Antutu, making it the top performer here. The X200T sits at 2.8 million, and surprisingly the X300 FE scores the lowest at 2.7 million. Ideally, Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 phones should score a bit more, but I think this might change once Vivo releases a new update. So on paper, the X300 clearly leads in performance. In real-world use though, all three are fast. Apps open instantly, multitasking is smooth, you won't really notice a difference unless you're pushing them hard. Plus, all three phones can go up to 120 FPS on BGMI and Call of Duty. And you get UFS 4.1 storage speeds no matter which phone you opt for. Now, one thing to note is that the X200T actually runs the coolest out of the three. And that's mainly because of its bigger size and thicker body, which gives it more room for heat dissipation. Okay, now battery, and the largest one here is on the X300 FE at 6500 mAh, followed by the X200T at 6200 mAh, and then the X300 at 6040 mAh. But honestly, all three are above 6000 mAh, so the tuning is quite similar. So in real-world use, you're looking at roughly 8 to 8.5 hours of screen-on time across all three. As for charging, all three support 90-watt wired charging, so they're pretty quick to top up in under an hour. And all three support 40-watt wireless charging, so you're covered there as well. Finally, software. All three run Origin OS 6 based on Android 16, so the experience is very similar. You get that glass-like UI, smooth animations, and Origin Island, which lets you drag and share content quickly. All the AI features are here too: Eraser, writing tools, transcription, Gemini, and you're getting 5 OS updates and 7 years of security on all three. Alright, so after all of that, here's my verdict. If you have the money and want the most premium option, just go for the Vivo X300. I mean, it's compact, feels the best in hand, and has the strongest camera system in this comparison. But if you want to spend up to 60,000 rupees and don't want to compromise on camera and prefer a bigger screen, then I'd probably go with the X200T. It also offers a more versatile camera setup than the X300 FE, which brings me to the X300 FE. It's still a nice phone, compact, great battery life, strong performance, but that 8-megapixel ultra-wide at this price point is a bit hard to ignore. I mean, nearly for the same price, you might as well just pick up the Vivo X300. Anyway, let me know in the comments which Vivo phone you'd pick. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.